Hey, how's it going? This is my name. Hello, I'm Keith Abagary, and you're listening to Video Game Bolt. Oh, excuse me. I got some video games coming out of my butt right now. Listen to them and enjoy.
Welcome to episode 107 of Video Game Bullshit. Trying a little something new. Here. This is a straight up Skype call recording, not on YouTube's. However, most of this is just going to be audio, and it's just Coffin and I today, right now.
That's right.
Tristan's doing a little bit of internet malarkey, trying to figure out everything, but we've been going through for the past 30 minutes, just trying to find a new way to record that might be easier.
Yes. Absolutely.
Simple. The other thing that we're trying out is right now I'm on my phone with AirPods. So when I'm in Hawaii, we got a little bit of an alternate way when I drive my computer. Because I'm about to load my kiosk, so I won't have a computer here like in another week. So yeah,
it'll be fun though. You got a fun trip though ahead of you.
Oh, fun life trip.
You have a ball.
It's been crazy, and so with the updates for the last week, and it's only been 5 days right now because we're recording a little earlier because we're going to upload still in the same days. But my moving process and everything, we've been selling the house. So basically, we've been doing house showings for the past week. So the week prior, household goods came. Everything is out of my house here. Everything behind me is blank, obviously. Got nothing in the house. And then we had it listed for sale. We had like 6 or 7 showings in the first day and a bunch in the second day. And we already got an offer.
Awesome.
And we went back because it was like within the first couple days, and we did like a counter offer, and then they came back. But the interesting piece is that there's going to be no appraisal, and there's also no fixes required. So like if it comes back, there'll be an inspection, but they're not going to fix anything.
Yeah, they did the same thing on mine. When I moved here, I stayed in my house just like you did. So I stayed in my house for like 6 days by myself. My wife went to her mother-in-law's house. And I basically just stayed there, and they would just call me and say, because I would literally like clean the house.
Yeah.
Your little tiki cat.
Yeah.
And then I would do the viewings, and then I would basically go hide out in my car somewhere, basically like scope out, see who's coming up and blah, blah, blah. And then we would get feedback and stuff like that. The first offer I had, it came in, it was really high, same thing, but they didn't appraise as high, because they had to use someone at the last minute, and they didn't know how to really appraise that well. So it kind of knocked me down like by $20,000. And so we had to put it back on the market, and then it sold for like I bought it for $120, and it sold for $350, I think.
Yeah, so this one they have cash, so there's going to be no appraisal.
Yep.
So I don't need any of that.
They're probably going to fix it and then resell it.
It's actually they are selling a more expensive house and downsizing. They want this area. The dude, I think, has cancer or something, which sucks. But he's just wants to be closer to family. And essentially, like, we didn't even go back and forth on price. We went back and forth on options, and we're also not covering any closing costs. Dude just wants the house.
That's awesome.
So that'll be pretty
No
cool.
stress for you.
Yeah, I won't be any stress on my side. And it should be pretty cool. Yeah, every time we had a house selling though, or house showing, we would like walk the dogs or go out to eat, or we went and saw Star Wars: Return of the Jedi in theater.
I did that too.
Yeah,
I did that on a Friday. We were gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I missed the time, so I took my son to Return of the Jedi.
gotcha. Yeah, ours, we said we were at the last showing of Return, and so we went and saw that because it was May the 4th. So we wanted to see, Star Wars. So that was more important for us. Then the other day was Cinco de Mayo. So did you do anything for Cinco de
Yes.
Mayo?
No. So Friday, I went over to Amara's house, and we were searching for. He's got this new amiibo stand that needs to be. It has a certain mount that has to mount up to a wall, and those warehouse those teardrop warehouse pillars. So those brackets fit into those little pillars, but no one was selling them anywhere. We went to Home Depot, went to Lowe's, and then we went to a place called a Tractor Supply Factory, and the guy said he didn't have any, and I randomly walked by, and they had a bracket thing that could fit cargo straps, and it was perfectly aligned for his brackets. So we hung up those brackets, and then made the Mule stand. So he has like his old CRT Sony TV underneath it, and he's got it like right above it. It looks really cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, sounds cool. We'll have to see some pictures. I'll have to get some pictures and we'll load them up on the next live stream we do for VGBS.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've been doing my running still. So I started running last week. I'm doing it's for Stop Soldier Suicide for service members and everything. And I'm over 30 miles. And so Friday morning I went and ran 5 miles, or actually ran 3, walked 2 with the dog. And then I went over, and my old soldiers at my unit, because I've already signed out, so I got the nice PCS leaf beard going on. But I went over, they were doing an Army focused training day. It's like a training thing. They were playing Ultimate Football. So I just went over there, hung out. And then after that, they went to get pizza. Took my wife over there and had a cider. But we were meeting friends over at a place called Taqueria El Rey, and they have like the best queso fundido that I've had in an area. It's like authentic Mexican style food. They have a salsa bar there, and then they have these margaritas that are super strong. They come in these giant things. It's like a goblet. The one I ordered is called. Well, no, the one I order is called the Dark Souls.
Oh my god!
So, and it comes out and it's black.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. It's like blackberry basically.
That's cool.
But it was funny though, because like I usually drink one on my ass and I'm sleeping all like the rest of the day. I had one and I was feeling good, and I'm like, oh, I'll get a second one since it's Cinco de Mayo. The waiter was super busy. And then right as he's bringing the check and we're about to leave, he comes up with another giant margarita in front of me. So that's where the picture on social media of me passed out on the couch afterward is, because like literally came home and went sleepy on the couch for like a few hours. It was
probably a good nap.
It was a fun Cinco de Mayo. It was cool. Like I think I had some tacos too or something. Like it was not a big deal. But yeah, kind of had uneventful, fun Cinco de Mayo. Drank a lot. And, this weekend, we kept yesterday super low-key, just doing stuff around the house, hanging out, playing some games, trying to play the bullshit homework, which we'll talk about when we're with Abara. We'll talk bullshit homework. And then I've been playing a game like in between, because you were trying to figure out how to get this Skype thing to work.
It was a nightmare.
So I use this thing on my Steam Deck. It's a Decky plugin, and on there they created something called a deck roulette, and it's something that Steam has not had. It's a randomizer, so you can go into a collection or all your Steam library. You click a button and it picks up a random game that it recommends you play. And
awesome.
so I have a whole folder that I have that is like, and I've loaded games that I feel like would be cool for me to play. It's going into a Steam book, best of indie Steam games, so it can't really have physical, and games that we might sign as premium edition games. So if it's really, really freaking cool, the stars align is what I always call it. Maybe we'll sign it. This game falls into like all the categories. I hit a button. The game is called The Secrets of Grindia. And it's it's a weird one. And essentially it's Zelda, which is ironic for the episode topic where we're talking our favorite Zelda games.
Yep.
Because it's a weird one. It has a lot of story to it, but it really does feel like a fantasy Zelda style game with multiple weapons, lots and lots and lots of upgrades. There is an RPG system where you can upgrade your character and different abilities, so you can kind of like stack your power of your character. I'm finding that I like the range. There's like these two-handed weapons and one-handed weapons, and then there's these staffs. I'm liking the staff because it shoots out like a fireball and stuff, but the two-handed weapons have a longer range and they're a little more powerful. A single-handed weapon is shorter, but you can use the shield no matter what. So even if you have a two-handed weapon, I can still hit the shield and do the deflections and blocks. So
That's cool.
I don't see the reason to not use the two-handed weapon, and it has so much more range. So it's almost like Zelda Link to the Past style range versus Zelda 1 range, where you're like that little pea stabber.
Correct.
Yeah. So I went through and I've gotten through a couple sections in the game. I mean, I was just playing for a couple hours while you were trying to get some Skype stuff to work and things, and I was just messing around and I got addicted. So I'm going to be continuing. That one would be a game that I would 100% sign for a physical, or at minimum, it's going in the Steam Deck book because of the Steam book. It's going to be the best of indie Steam games. Not necessarily deck, but it'll be notable that they all can be played on deck when I make the book. So, but it's the game is awesome. I just beat the second boss. I think it is the second or third. I think it's the second boss, and it was very challenging. Different than what we're playing for Bullshit Homework too, because there's going to be some stuff we'll talk about Bullshit Homework that I didn't quite care for, whereas this does it right. And it's a weird thing that I played this one after, because now I can really see what I would like for Trinity Trigger to do. But this one's all pixelated too, so I mean, pixelated, awesome graphics. Like it's a weird one. I definitely recommend Secrets of Grindia. The other game that I played, which is an interesting one, I downloaded and put Punch Out Wii on my Steam Deck after we did some Bullshit Homework. And
Nice.
I did see you did a supplemental video on Facebook, and I listened to it all, and disappointed you didn't get to beat Tyson, but your time would freaking lit a fire into my ass to do a little bit better. So that was it. I was like, okay, if I get a freaking world records and I don't at least try to take down a 110. So I did. I got lucky. I got my second time. I got a 108. And I told Ibarra I can probably shave off 2 more seconds with my current technique. The world record holders, I don't know if they're using a glitched ROM or they're using like a 1 in every 100th run or something, but there's a certain way. But literally it's 5 button presses for me to set that record. It's super easy, like, because he has a pattern. Like once I figured it out.
The guy that did the blindfold punch out, the blindfold punch out, I watched his video and he did it like in 45 seconds. And like the way he set it up, I was like, I wouldn't even think of how he set it up. And I tried it and I failed miserably, really bad. But the one that I found for the strategy was I was just randomly playing Punch Out on Ibarra's play choice. And I got to him and I just accidentally just flinched down and he just froze. And it's kind of like awkward, like a weird awkward dance. We just stood there for a second. Yeah. And then I was like, I just threw a punch and I got an uppercut. And I was like, holy crap, I found something I've never tried before, because he used to just destroy me.
So
his timing's brutal.
so what you do is it's up in A because he's going to do that hook punch to the side. So it's up in A twice. You get 2 stars. And then he goes for his uppercut. You hold down, stuns him. Boom, you hit him. That's what sets the next punch. Will knock him down, and then you just hit an uppercut. And essentially you do the block punch a second time. So it's essentially up in A, block punch star, block punch uppercut. And the thing is the second block of the uppercut punch, if you don't get the star, that's how you shave off the extra second. And you can do that all 3 times. I was only able to do it on the 3rd time to shave off the extra second. So I'm getting 23 seconds per round. So I get 23 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too.
Yeah, and then I was able to get 22 seconds the 3rd round. So essentially 23 is 109. 23 22 is how I got to 108. And so yeah, that was it. But the one thing is I was able to train because there was no lag. I played on Switch. I went versus Mr. Dreamin' at Tyson. But there was no noticeable lag on it. And I also can train on it because you can do the rewind time. So you can sit there and train the timing, train all the punches, and train everything. Yeah. And it's going to get a good run. So when I started, after I did the training for like 15, 20 minutes just to get down all of Soto Pinsky's timing. And then I just did a full round. And second time I did it, I knocked his ass out in 108. And it's like, well, I'm never going to beat that again that easily. It's going to probably take me hours to get it down again. So I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. I did the same thing. When you said 108, I tried it. I tried to get it down. I was getting 23. But the last one, the way I did it was I just pushed down immediately. So he'll hit 2 punches, and then he'll go for that uppercut. And then I'll hit the down, hit him in the stomach. He'll do his uppercut, and then I'll hit the stomach. He'll get the star, and then I'll do the uppercut. And that's how I was doing it. So the first 2, you can get it no problem. The 3rd one, I learned you have to hit him at least 5 or 6 punches before you can even get it. So that's what the issue was because I'd be at 46, and then I would try to get that uppercut as fast as possible, and then he would do ridiculous stuff like punch you in the middle, or he'll unstun block when you try to uppercut him. So I was just there's no way I'm going to do this. So I was like just the winner. I tried for
3rd round you got to not touch anything, and he'll do those hook punches 2 more times. That's what you have to do. Yeah. Because if you try to anticipate, move left, right, up, down, the 3rd round he changes his strategy. But it was interesting, and then I only beat Tyson or Mr. Drain by decision. I beat him by decision. I didn't knock him out. I know you can, but it was fun as hell though. I liked it. That was a cool one. Yeah. So I think we should try doing. I got a few old world records. We should play some Commodore or something sometime in the future. It'd be funny. Do some random shit. Do some random shit. But yeah, I was like, I like that you did the video. I think did I stop before I started doing the piracy? But you have the same techniques as piracy with us. Did you besides for the homework, did you play any other games?
So I found a game that from a friend down here. We went to a bar's house, and it was a Switch game called Cannon Folder. And basically what it is that it's basically was made by people that used to work on Strider. And in the late 90s, they made an arcade game. Yep. And I've never heard of it before. And so I tried it out, and I guess Strictly Limited did a physical release for it for the Switch. And so I bought a copy of it because it was still up on their site. And I checked it out. I was like, this is nuts. And I never even knew this game even existed. And it's cool to find arcade games that you never seen before, because I love Strider. Strider's one of my favorite series. The arcade ones are amazing. I love the NES one. A lot of people hate the NES one, but I like the cool storyline and kind of the Metroidvania kind of style to it. But this one was pretty cool. I was actually really surprised by it, and the graphics look amazing on it. It's got that old school feel to it, but it has it's like a kind of like an upgrade to Strider. But the power ups, you can flip around a bunch of times. You can climb up on things. But
what's the other name of that game? Because there's another name of that game that's weird sounding in Japan.
Yeah, I know it's on there. Both versions are on there. So it's like Cannon Folder and something else.
It's Canon Folder.
Yeah, Canon folder. Yep. Let me grab it real quick.
He just knocked off and left. This is Canon Fodder, I thought, but Folder.
Canon Dancer. Canon Dancer. Sorry.
Ah,
So the other one.
I was like Canon
Sorry.
Fodder. Osman is what the other one is. That's what
Osmond.
it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Osmond. Yep. Correct. So it comes with this.
Yeah, so the game name of Canon Dancer is pretty damn cool. A game name of Osman is weird as shit, and that's what the arcade
Yep.
game was originally supposed to be called.
I never heard of it before, and he brought it over to the house. He's like, "You gotta check this out." And I was like, as soon as I played it, I was like, "It's day one buy."
Yeah, I
So
pre-ordered
bought
it.
immediately.
I pre-ordered it initially back in the day. The thing is it's like you sent me something in I think it was a strategy guide for Tears of the Kingdom or whatever. But I can't buy anything right now until I move to the island in Hawaii, and then I gotta pick and choose because I can't be shipping anything and I can't bring it all on the plane. So right now I gotta not buy anything. So I haven't bought any Switch games in a long time. And anything I am buying is going to the storage. So it's yeah, it's like one of those weird ones where I haven't been buying as many games as I normally would. I am going to get at least 2 copies of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and that's just because I want to see which one I can actually get on launch day.
Yep. Well, they said today, like I was hearing people online, Amazon was releasing them early, I guess. Some people got them like last Thursday.
Yep,
And some
that's
YouTubers
how
were
the
talking
leaks
about it
happen.
online. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
what
were
we
like-
talked
they're
about it on Video Game Bullshit, where people actually uploaded them. But yeah, it's yeah, I just want to see where, because I just bought them today, so I want to see which one I get first.
Yep.
Hopefully I get mine.
I got a Collector's Edition coming in. That's what I'm waiting for. Waiting for Collector's Edition. It won't be in until I have to get it mailed because basically I couldn't get a copy of it. I had to get a friend. He ordered me one on Walmart, and so he's got to ship that one to me
A
to get it.
collector's edition.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to buy a collector's edition later.
I have the Breath of the Wild, the big box one. I don't have like the one with the sword, but I have the big box one. And so I just wanted to go with that set. And so he was able to get one, so I'm just basically just waiting for him to basically get it in, and then he'll ship it to me. And so I'll probably buy one day one. I'll probably go to the store and pick one up. I don't think they're going to be scarce, but I'm going to definitely pick it up first day.
We shall see. We shall see. Because one of the rumors that I heard now is that GameStops are only carrying pre-orders.
Yep.
So
that's true.
Who's to say that like the major Zelda games are like they should order more? But I mean, we'll see. I mean, what the hell, you know what I mean? Like I want to
be Zelda Palooza.
I mean, hell. I mean, that's the theme of our episode today, right? Like that's the craziness. Let's see. I did see in the news that there was a major Switch emulator. It's called Skyline. Nintendo gave it a cease and desist.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They've been on point lately on everything. They've been going after everybody. I even saw your boy Woodhawker. He had to admit that his Switch was a fake. That he basically made it with AliExpress technology. Because I guess he did scared.
Well, no, he did a plate, a little plate on the front.
And that box looked like legit. Like I hate to say it, I got fooled. I mean, it looked real. Like none about it seemed like it was fake to me.
Yeah, I paid him about half attention when he posted it. I'm like, damn, he got that shit early. That's all I thought. I didn't really care. But then when the one guy was getting fired and they were sending people to jail for sharing a picture and all this stuff, like I was like, yeah, he's gonna be definitely in trouble if he didn't get it legally. And the fact is that he just had people make all the pieces. I watched the video how he did it. It's pretty funny.
It was pretty funny. I was like, well played. I don't think Nintendo probably thought it was well played. It's like you better either post a video up of showing that it's not the real thing, or you probably be in trouble. Because he's had trouble with them before. So
yeah, he's not a big fan of Nintendo, which is pretty funny since he does basically a Nintendo channel. But Yeah, still cool though. And I thought it was pretty neat him showing how he did it and did it early and got lucky with certain stuff. And yeah, it's very funny, very funny. Um, so you ready to do the topic of the episode?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I didn't want to cover
We don't
too
have a
much
lot of time.
news.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't want to cover too much news because we may still record with Ibarra later to talk
Yep.
Trinity Trigger and everything. But what we decided we are going to talk about a little quick episode. It's the top 5 Zelda games. The one things that we'll do though is that a game is counted as that title. So, and any of the subsequent releases, re-releases of that title count as the same thing, as well as any upgrades or hacks or other stuff like that. So if there's a game that was hacked, or if there was like a, lazily ported broadcast satellite version, which there has been, that counts as the same iteration of that title. So that way we don't have to like skip over another major game. It's only the so that way we can be like talk about them. And if we have the same games in our list, which we probably will, whoever gets to it first talks about it, and then the next person can talk about it later. In their part too. And because basically what we'll do is we'll talk about the game, why we like it, why it made our list, and any cool stories, basically. Yeah. Let's see. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You can go first if you want to. Yeah.
Okay. We'll start with number 1 and we'll go down to number 5. So the favorite to the least favorite. At the end, we'll talk about our least favorite of all time too. Just because. So my favorite is my favorite game of all time. So my top game is my favorite game of all time. I have 2 tattoos of it. I have one right here, which is on my daughter's tattoo. And I got the right horse here. It's Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. 100% been my favorite game of all time forever. I play it I try to play it once a year. I'm going through it. The reason why that game is so iconic for me is the story of it, the journey of it. When I played it, because I was coming into my own as a gamer, I earned my Super Nintendo by working one of my first jobs. And I bought the Super Nintendo much, much later. It was with the Super Mario World and Mario All-Stars combo pack by the time I got the Super Nintendo. And I also got a used copy of Link to the Past that I was playing the hell out of. There was a save on there that had it mastered, and I was like, all right, I got to do better than that because it didn't have full hearts. So I'm like, my goal was always to play it. And I remember going through and just getting the 3 penance, going into the Lost World, all the bosses, the 16-bit graphics like screamed next level for me. It was all so polished. The music was iconic. Then you get into the Dark World, get to see 2 different iterations of the world, watching them interact when you do one thing in one world and it doesn't in the other. The swerve of the main baddie you're going against, and then just how Ganon appears and everything. Like every single iteration aspect of that game to me is perfection. And it's just such a great game. With that, we also have the broadcast satellite ancient stone tablets, which is essentially a Japanese only version. It was on the broadcast Satellaview system with a recorded audio drama. The interesting thing is, are you familiar with MSU1 hacking on the SD to SNES system?
Yeah, I actually have a copy of Ancient Stone tablets here, like that I've got. It's heavy, like super freaking heavy. It's like the heaviest card I've ever seen for Nintendo.
Is yours an MSU1 version on a cartridge? Do you know what MSU1
I don't know
is?
specifically. It's so they have like the nice audio tracks, like the upgraded audio tracks and things like that. Correct?
Is that on your cartridge?
No, it's just standard basic hack.
Yeah, so MSU1 allows MP3 audio quality on a Super Nintendo through the SD to SNES. It's like the little SD card reader. And somebody uploaded all the audio drama so you can listen to it.
That's awesome.
And not only that, but there's also people, and I think they're working on it. I don't have it, but if they finished it, I need to find it. that they're redoing the audio drama, but in English.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So that would be amazing. I heard people were doing it. I haven't seen it. But essentially, what happens when you're playing the game is you'll be going through Legends of Zelda: Link to the Past, and then all of a sudden, the levels are a little different. There's like a little story where you got to go get Zelda in the overworld or something. And every once in a while, something will pause. And then you'll get like a random like item drop or rupees or make it harder. During that part, there would be like somebody actually talking on the radio. And when they hit that part, that's when the pause would happen. So it actually interacted with the audio. So playing it with MSU1 with the audio is like a totally different experience. It's freaking crazy, man. But that adds another level to Link to the Past. Then you have two of the really, really notable hacks out in the community. One of them is Parallel Worlds. I don't know if you ever played Legend of Zelda
Yes, I
Parallel
have.
Worlds. And now, have you played Parallel Worlds, and have you played Parallel Worlds Remaster?
I just played Pearl Worlds. I had the standard, like, you go to the convention, they're there. I bought it, like that kind of thing. I mean, I know like Time Walk Games and all them did some really cool ones as well. I just never had the opportunity to buy those versions of them when they were out. So I just got a cart copy of it.
Yeah. So Parallel Worlds is super hard. Very, very difficult game.
Yes.
I remember I grinded the shit out of it with save states and barely was able to like get far in it. Parallel World Remaster is better. It's great. Like it's completely redone. You can actually play it normally. They've gotten rid of all the little stuff that's going to stump you and get you.
Yep.
So that is the way to play that. So that's the third one. And then the fourth one is Legends of Zelda: Link to the Past randomizer.
Yeah, I like the one with the Metroid did.
Yep, there's the one with Super Metroid as well. So there's like so many layers to Link to the Past just to get more and more enjoyment out of it. And there's so many games that are Zelda-like action RPGs that take inspiration. That's why I like that for me, number one by far. Everything else is great. All the other games are fun as shit, but that game is like another level for me. That's why that one's number one. Yep. I just got a 20% of my phone, so I'm going to have to break after your number one game. I'm going to break and go grab my charging cable before my phone dies.
No problem.
But do your number one first.
So my number one is like I told you before, I was really poor as a kid, so like I lived basically off my Game Boy a lot. I had my NES, but my Game Boy was my go-to. And two games I would play religiously is Metroid 2: Return of Samus, and this one on the Game Boy. This one's the upgraded version. This is why I picked this one. But they had it originally on the Game Boy, but then it went to the Game Boy Color, and that's Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening DX. And can't say enough great things about this. If you don't know the history of it, it's pretty interesting. They basically tried to see if they could get your game ported on a Game Boy, and then they started making all these fun ideas where they're putting in Mario mechanics and different things. It's got such great music. It's also one of the Zelda games where it makes you make a hard choice in it. Do you wake up the Windfish and take out the whole island, or do you stay here with the people? And I thought that was an interesting thing that a lot of people didn't really go into, because it's like, wow, you're really taking on the whole island, so you can be free and go back. So
to this day, I'm still on my original save. I've never woken up the Windfish. I just walk around the island. just still to this day. It's been like 20 years, 30, 40 years. I don't know.
I love all of the characters in the game. I like the trade system where you're running around doing trades with everybody. I love that you can officially use Chomp Chomp as a weapon. So that's pretty awesome.
His name's Bow Wow. Come on now.
Yeah, Bow Wow. But the official Chomp Chomp. I do love the dungeons into it. The dungeons were done really well with the different types of puzzles. You finally get to jump with Link. The first game where you get to finally use a Rock's Feather and learn how to jump instead of every other one you were playing before that, you couldn't jump anywhere. So like I understand Link, but I mean like over like, over holes and things like that, which made it so much better gameplay. And then also what I like about it the most is how can I say it? The ending of it was awesome because it's kind of like they do like a throwback to Zelda when you're going to go see the Windfish. You have to do that puzzle like up side, and they'll say it's kind of like the rendition from the original game where you go and do the up and down to go to the dungeon.
Boss
So they
World,
put a lot of heart and soul into it. Yeah, they put a lot of heart and soul into that game, and it's cool that they were just doing this after hours when they were done work. I can't imagine working in
side
Nintendo
hustle.
and had work all day and then do a side project without their leadership even knowing about it. So I just think I think everyone should try it. If you don't try this one, you definitely should play the one on the Switch. The update on the Switch one was pretty amazing too.
You played the one on the Switch?
Loved it.
I feel like
Absolutely.
that is like the perfect way to do a retro reimagining for a top-down game.
Absolutely.
Like it just looks like a toy. Like everything looked like it was made out of clay or toy, and the gameplay was like flawless. Didn't mess with anything. It had all the dungeons. Everything was intact. It was like a 1-to-1 recreation in high definition. Like it was flawless. Like that is
Absolutely.
an amazing. Yeah, man. And then the game that it's based on, or the original engine for the Frog the Bell Tolls. Have you ever
Yes.
played that? That's an interesting one because the
Yes.
characters are in Link to the Past, where you go to the
Yep.
castle and the prince is there, and he's like a little frog.
Yep.
Yeah. What did you think of that mechanic? Because you probably didn't play it till later. None of us did. But because you get to walk into characters and then you scrap with them automatically, and that's how you fight.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Frog the Bell Tolls. So, yeah, what are your thoughts of that game?
I like that game too. And what was funny about that game was like I didn't know who he was at first, and then when I found out, I went to Ben's Game Zone. I actually bought a copy of it. He actually had a copy there. I guess a guy he knew goes to Japan, and what he does is that he swaps back and forth. So he comes to America, he gets American games, he takes them to Japan for the Japanese, and the Japanese basically buy them, and then he takes Japanese games and he brings them back and he sells them over to like Ben and other game stores. So he had this thing where he was going back and forth. And so you could talk to him and ask him, like, you say, "Hey, I'm going over there. What do you want?" And so I asked him for it, and he brought me back a copy. And I love it on I have a Super Game Boy too, so I can actually play those games, and it's awesome.
So what you need to do now is you need to put that on your system that you have, and then apply the English patch to it, so you play your original game in English.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping they finally do. I'm hoping Polymega does like a Game Boy port for it. I really do. So hopefully down the road they will. But I can't. If they do, there's going to be a lot of games I have here that are in Japan that I would love to freaking convert over for sure.
Oh yeah, and yeah, that's a great choice. Let me go grab my charging cable real quick.
No problem.
All right.
My second one's the same one as yours, so I gotta talk real quick.
Okay.
So the second one I have is the same thing. This is number one, and that is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Everything he said about the game is absolutely true. Really, really good game. I do feel this is the best story in a Zelda game. This game, when I first saw it, I thought it was really cool that like they had the cool rain effects and things like that, and having to run up to to save your uncle and things like that. Because we never really got like a lot of background on Link. I don't know. I keep saying Zelda. I don't know I'm going to get the rib for it, but Link, learning about Link's uncle and things like that. So my number two was the same one as yours. Like I said, really good. If this was pizza, this would be pepperoni for sure.
Pepperoni pizza.
That's right. Everyone loves it.
Everybody loves pepperoni on your pizza. That's a classic, though. But yeah, like that was a really good one. Let me see if I can get this sucker plugged in. Ah, there we go. Allow. All right, my phone is doing some weird and wild stuff. I can't get it to stay up. But got everything falling down. This is where I have this camera sitting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Got it. I got it. Got my life together. All right. We set? Oh, I can't hear you now.
You're number 2, sir.
Who does number 2 work for? Who does number 2 work for?
You tell that you know what who's boss.
So my number 2, I was actually playing it yesterday, in preparation for Tears of the Kingdom, and that is Breath of the Wild. That is my favorite game on Nintendo Switch right now. Still number 1. It has been such an awesome thing. The open worldness of the game. Ironically, I had to replay the game because I wanted to restart because I was like, I had played it since day 1 of the Switch. Ironically, I didn't realize that you could just delete or go to a different profile and play the game again. So I deleted my save on my profile.
No.
and I was probably the second or the third boss on the DLC and all this stuff. And I was like, I'll just restart it. And I got lost time. And so I stopped playing it. And so I've been replaying it. However, I'm replaying it in the Dolphin emulator for the Wii U version, and I got rid of weapon breakage.
Really? That's great.
So it's so much more fun. So much more fun.
I also don't like climbing mountains when it rains.
No, yeah, that's. I have a feeling that Tears of the Kingdom is going to have a mechanic, because you got to create all these mechanical contraptions. That all the mechanical contraptions are going to die or fall apart with the battery life. As I saw that in the trailer, I'm like, battery life. That's going to be the next. That's going to be the next weapon breakage that we're not going to like. But Breath of the Wild's great. What I did yesterday when I was playing Breath of the Wild, because I said Saturday I was chilling, I went through the Rito village, Rito village, and I beat the next version of Ganon in the air. So,
awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. That was what I went through. And the only other one that I've beaten is the Elephant right now. So, but the Zoros. So it's the only 2 that I've beaten. I've been running around. I got about 11 hearts now, I think, 10 or 11 hearts. Try to get my 13 so I can get my Master Sword, and then I'm gonna just get all 4 of the Divine Guardians, and then I just want to go versus Ganon. But what I do now when I play, because I know how to parry and all that stuff, is I go to Hyrule Castle before I go to any of the Guardians, and I go get a bunch of like super strong weapons, and I kind of run around and avoid enemies and get the strong weapons and then battle my way out. So
yeah, it's crazy seeing those people do that. Like I've seen people like have no armor on and like float on in there and then like take a bunch of weapons and get out of there. And like the movements are so crazy with all those enemies because it's like instant death basically.
Yeah, and the thing is because of the teleport though, as soon as you get something, if you get it stuck somewhere, you just teleport right out and you can go back in and try again. But yeah, I got the Hyrule or Hylian shield already, and I got some really strong weapons. So I usually like these single arm weapons so I can swap my shield, so I can do parries and flips and stuff. So that's kind of how I go through. Now I cannot play the game on master mode. The damn bosses and enemies that their health regenerates when you play in the master mode. But I'm not about that. I'm more of a casual. But that game though, so huge. I just remember the experiences of like walking through from place to place, not even on a horse, but just going through, and then enemies would somehow come through, or there'd be like a little side story that would happen, another little thing that would go through. You come across something special, a secret, something else. There's giant dragons in the air, whatever. Like there's just so much stuff to unlock in that game that I haven't even started with Breath of the Wild, which is crazy that I put in 120 hours or whatever the first time.
Yeah, it's nuts. I put 70 in like the first week. I wouldn't put it down. My wife was laughing at me. I would sit in bed like a little kid. I would just have like a cover over my head, and I would sit there and play. And then she'd be like, you have to go to work in like the next 3 hours. And I'm like, oh yeah, I better put this down. and they have it for like a week. But you know what I want to try for that, honestly, is I want to try the Wii U version. I have not played the Wii U version yet of that game, and I'm wondering if it's actually like a really, really decent, if it like a decent, basically a decent as much as the Switch is. I haven't heard anything bad about it, but I would love to just to try it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been playing is the Wii U version. And to me, I think it plays exactly like the Switch. I think it's just a one-for-one port. I haven't noticed anything different.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because I mean it's in the Dolphin emulator, so it's the Wii or whatever it's called. Citra. I think it's Citra. It's not Dolphin. It's CE.
Yeah.
No, CEMU. That's the emulator. And I'm playing it on my Steam Deck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing on my Steam Deck, and I mean I have it on Wii U. I have it on Switch multiple times. I just wanted to play without the weapon breakage because you can apply a crap ton of hacks and fun shit too. But I'm just playing it standard. Awesome. Yeah. And it was my goal was to beat the damn thing before Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I failed at that goal because Tears of the Kingdom comes out in a few days, and I am not going to be able to beat it before then. So
I will be able to play it all because it's Mother's Day this weekend, so I will have to play it sparingly. But the following week, I will definitely be going crazy on it.
Well, ironically, is like so. This week, when does Zelda come out? It comes out on
Friday.
Friday. So
or technically Thursday. GameStop's doing like their thing at like 9:00. I think it's like Thursday.
Yeah, because I'm going to visit my team with Premium Edition. I'm going to visit Josh and Sheena on Tuesday. I get back on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to visit my brother-in-law, my nephew, and my niece. We're going to be doing a ton of like margaritas and drinking Six Flags, which is a bad combination, but we're going to do it. There's a place called Don Tequilas that we're going to. My wife took us to, and they bring you like pitcher margaritas, right? And you're sitting there, you're drinking your margaritas, and then the guy comes and pours with a bottle of tequila and pours it, and he leaves the whole bottle. Like it's
crazy,
wild. So we did that before a rock and roll show that we went and saw Queensryche play, and it was Marty Friedman. It was good stuff.
Yes,
but
it looked cool.
Yeah, but it was like that. So we're gonna be doing that over the weekend. Now I'm hoping that I get the game Thursday or Friday, so that way, or before I leave on Friday. So that way I can bring it with me to Atlanta when I go out, because otherwise it'll be sitting here outside until I get back Sunday.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, I'll have it with me and I can sit there when I'm hungover at my brother-in-law's house playing on my Switch in portable mode. And I did get the Switch OLED, the Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED, and that is now my main. I updated Ibarra last week, but I played Metroid Prime Remaster and it looks better.
I told you. I love my OLEDs. My OLED is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. The Vita spoiled me, and so when I got that screen, I played Dread. I went absolutely crazy for it. It looks so clean.
So with the Steam Deck is not an OLED. However, on that Decky add-on, they create something called the Vibrant Deck. It allows you to adjust the it's the saturation. And so if I put it up a little bit, there's like recommended settings. It looks like an OLED. So it's pretty damn close.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I was like, it's pretty close. That's why mine looked good comparatively with the deck. But yeah, I love the OLED. The OLED's really cool, man. Ironically, playing Trinity Trigger, I don't have it for Switch. I have it on Steam, so I've been playing it on Steam.
I got PS5. That's the one. Amara got me a copy for PS5.
Cool.
That looks really good on it, though.
Yeah, PS5's great. Like we don't have a big TV here because I mean everything's packed up, so got a tiny TV, so that would be wasted here. But we got sidetracked. Are we up to number 3 now?
Yep, 3.
All right. You already covered your number 2, so we'll let you go with your number 3.
So these are together. So these are combined together. Another Game Boy classic as well.
Nice.
Ages and Seasons.
Yes.
And these are probably one of my. I wish they would have done like that. They were originally going to do like 3 of them as like kind of a Triforce thing. But man, do I love these games. One has a time thing where you can go back in time. There's one with season mechanics where you can change a different season and things like that. They have these cool characters on both versions. And what's cool about it is that you can put a password in after you beat one and keep continuing on the other one, and you can do it vice versa. So it's kind of like, I joke around, like it's like the Resident Evil 2 of Game Boy, because it's got that cool little system that you put in the middle that you can play it as. And I know Capcom worked on it. I know Capcom was behind most of the development for it, but man, did they kill it. They did a really amazing job on those games. If I had to pick my favorite, I do like Ages more than Seasons, but that's just because I have nostalgic for it. I bought Ages first. I didn't know at first when I was a kid that there was 2 games that came out, and I bought one, and then my friend bought this one. And so then I went back to the store to pick up this one as well, because I was like, "Oh, there's 2," and I like the mechanics in both of them. The weather thing's pretty cool, but what I really like too is those cool rings. The rings that you can like get different upgrades for yourself, like strength and magic, or you can hold more bombs and things like that. And there's so many different types of rings in the game, so like it makes it like the replay on it's like really, really crazy with it. So if you can find these 2, I would highly suggest picking both of them up and checking them out.
So interesting story. Now that game, those games aren't in my top 5, but they would be in my top 10 for sure. But I originally didn't play them. I think I never really got Game Boy Color. I went to Game Boy Advance after original Game Boy. Just never, I don't know why, but never got to that. But when I got my copies of the game, I ordered them on eBay, and I got them in, played them, loved them, really, really freaking cool. I do appreciate Ages more than Seasons as well, a little more action oriented. But my copies are black cartridges. I had no clue, didn't know better. That
Really?
They're black card. Yeah, but they're legit Game Boy. They're not say game on them or something like the bootlegs. But they're definitely not legit. And I don't know where the hell they came from. I can't find the source because I was a big Nintendo Age fan and Nintendo Age member and all that stuff. Nobody knew where the hell I got those from. Even the guy who created Nintendo Age. Nobody knows. I got them. I have them. I didn't get them from reseller at a bunch. They only had one copy. And so I have my copies. I still have those 2. And then I got the original CIB like you have. I got the original CIB.
Yeah, these are my originals. These are my original ones I bought the day they got released, which is freaking great. I love it.
One thing about my Zelda collection is I have the entire Zelda, every single Zelda game CIB. All of them. So I have them all. And
I'm also a connoisseur of that as well.
Gotta do that. Gotta do it. Do you have all the CDI games?
No, I have none of those. By the way, I used to have them. There was a friend that was really he was trying to complete his set, so I sold it to him. This is one of my friends in Phoenix. He wanted it really, really bad. I gave him a bro deal, and he was pretty happy about it. I actually bought them. I bought that and Hotel Mario the day when it got released.
Oh, jeez.
And I didn't even have a system. Didn't even have a system. I was like, I'm gonna buy the games and then hopefully I'll pick up the system later.
So I've had the opportunity to get those games over the years. I'm not interested in getting them. I think I have, Link, the Link one. Wanted to gamble on. I might have as well. But I never got Zelda's Adventure. I had an opportunity to get all 3 back in the day when I had a Super Nintendo kiosk, but I just didn't because I had no drive to play them. Because they're not made by Nintendo. They're not made by Nintendo. I would rather play some of the fan hacks like a Parallel Worlds or something like that because it's so much better. So that would be my my one thing with that. There's no way that I would play them. But
so what is your number 3?
So my number 3 is a Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS. Such a great game. I freaking love it. It is a tribute to Link to the Past without completely ripping off Link to the Past. You just get a little overworld. I love the painting mechanic where it introduces new mechanics to everything. I don't like the rental system, but I like that you can just buy them.
Yes.
So I just bought them all.
Awesome.
I just bought them all. And so I got everything. and I never died, so I kept it all. I just bought everything, upgrade everything. I like that you can get the little shell guys, and then you can upgrade all the weapons through it. I 100% the hell out of that game, and I haven't went back to it in many, many years. I need to go back to it and play it again because it's been so long. Like, it's such a good freaking game. I love Link Between Worlds. And the fact that, Nintendo was willing to give us the Link to the Past remake that we didn't know we wanted, that's essentially a spiritual successor, like, that is genius. I wish that they would do that more with, like, retro games that they have. Like, we need more of that because it's all done in HD as well. And can we please get some of these 3DS games on the freaking Switch? Like, come on. Like,
I'd buy that for a second.
Yeah.
If that game came out on the Switch, it'd be over.
Yeah.
I'd buy it in a second.
Yeah, it's such a good game. I remember getting it day one, playing the hell out of it. Definitely the best game for me that was released, for best Zelda game released for the 3DS. For me, better than the rest that were out there for that one. Just such a great title. And then having the different enemies at the end and stuff was great too, even though, there's still the whole Ganon background, but you got the new enemies and things. So like you got new spins on the classics. So to me, being a huge Link to the Past mark, I love Link Between Worlds.
That's awesome. Speaking of that, that's my number 4. So I'll give you a little bit on it. The day that Best Buy announced that they were going to have a 3DS for it, like the two-tone 3DS, I was like hyped. I was like, I'm going first day. I'm picking that up. There's no way around. I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, I'm in. And
I got one too.
And then this is actually the sealed copy. I haven't even opened this yet because it came with a digital copy with it. So I basically just put the digital copy on there. There's no other game on that system, by the way. There's only one game on that system, and I only put on there that Zelda game. So that 3DS is specifically for this one right here.
That's amazing.
I loved every upgrade they did for that game. The painting system was awesome. The same thing with the little, I call them the little tiny snails. And you go around and you get the upgrades. I like the choose your own adventure. It's like, you're not making me have to go to dungeons. I can just go get everything and just get Ubered up and just go to whatever dungeon I want to go to. And it brings it back to the original Zelda too, which is like, you don't have to go to like a certain dungeon to get things. You can go wherever dungeon you want to. And I thought it was brilliant that they gelled Link to the Past and the old school Zelda together as one piece. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, it was. I like the little back and forth that they did with it. Really cool.
Low roll and high roll. When it all was awesome.
Hilda and Zelda.
Yes.
Like, so many cool little tidbits, man. So many cool little tidbits. It was a really cool treat that we got, and I definitely got the 3DS. For that one, but then they released the new 3DS, and I ended up upgrading to a different Zelda console, but not in my top 5. But Majora's Mask one.
Yeah. Majora's Mask was awesome too.
Yeah, that was a really cool one. But I still think my favorite design is the Link Between Worlds 3DS for sure.
Should we go number 5?
Oh, mine's number 4 now because you did your number.
Oh, number 4. That's right. It's correct. You're number 4. My fault.
Well, my number 4 is your number 1. So, really? Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is my number 1. Same thing that you were saying with the whole aesthetics. Now, going back to the original, though, I have a story which is hilarious. So, every once in a while, my family, because again, grew up poor, so Game Boy was it. But we would go on a vacation every once in a while. And one time we were going up to Wisconsin and going fishing. Only time I could ever remember going fishing in my childhood. But we went up to the lakes or whatever, and went up there. I was on a boat with my dad, and he went and did like his reel. And the hook went into my forehead.
Oh no!
And I got a hole right here. But as a apology, they took me to the store and I got a copy of Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening for the game.
Yes.
While I was sitting there. Well, I was sitting there with a scar on my head, and I also got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I got Panda Khan, and
Yeah.
I also got that figure as well, and I think I got a cube too, like a little Turtles cube or something, which I still have to this day. But yeah, my Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, I played the hell out of that while we were on vacation. I had nothing else to do, and mastered the crap out of it. Some of my favorite stuff though was like the train sequence. Also, getting all the different shells because then you could power up your master sword. So level 2 sword.
Yep.
Get the level 2 sword. I always loved doing all that stuff and 100%ing everything. It seemed like it was a lot easier on Switch though for some reason. I don't know, just because I'm seasoned now or whatever, or I knew where stuff was, but it was like the Switch one just seemed so much easier.
Yep.
Yeah. So what is your number 5?
My number 5 is going to be this special one. I like OG Zelda, and I know a lot of people like OG Zelda, but just like Mario Brothers did back in the Nintendo era, we got a 16-bit upgrade, with the All Stars.
Yeah.
And they kind of did the same thing like you were talking about with Ancient Stone tablets. The broadcast satellite in Japan, it was exclusive to Japan. They got their same version like that, but they did an OG Zelda game, and they did really cool upgrades to it. So like, basically you did races against each other, against other players. You would have to try to get the highest score. So it built on completion. You did 2-hour window episodes for each section. So they did like 2 dungeons per section. And you would basically try to get all the items before you would basically like move on to the next thing. If you miss the stuff, you don't get the score for it. So you're basically, at the time, you were competing against everybody. So that's they call it broadcast satellite Zelda. Everyone jokes and calls it the third quest because in the original game there's the first quest, second quest, and they consider this one the third quest. It's really, really well done. It does the same thing like you were talking about. I would love to do the audio track for it. They did the old man in the game, so he would like talk to you through the game, and then also the same randomizer stuff would happen in this game too. They would drop like a ton of bombs on you or a ton of enemies and things like that. Everything was always randomized, trying to stop you from completing it. They did move the dungeons around like in different areas, but it made it more streamlined. It made it a lot easier. I mean, yeah, it's probably a little more linear than most people, because the original Zelda is like choose your own adventure. This one was like condensed down for different types of episodes, so it was kind of like more moving you towards the direction because they would only open a certain spot on the map on each chapter when they did the release of it. So you get some part of the map, and then you find the dungeons for them. But you get like a 2-hour window, and if you don't make it in the 2 hours, you don't get.
And
the
map is also 1 row smaller, is what I'm tracking. So it's like a little bit smaller than the original Zelda. Yeah, which is cool. On your cartridge, do you have the original, or do you have it so it's the third quest where everything is unlocked? Because there is a ROM hack version where it's just the full third quest game, and then somebody did a fourth quest game too.
So I have the original one where it has the original game on it, the original ROM on there, and then this is made by Fishy Face Games. This is the third quest of it. That's the one that's unlocked because I've heard that too. I wanted to have the actual release, of the game, and I'm glad that there were people out there that held on to it, on their those broadcast satellite systems because we would have never got to try this out. And when I heard about it, I was like immediately on the hunt looking at it. You're gonna laugh where I bought it. I bought the original cart from JJ Games. If you remember that store.
Classic JJ Games.
I went to JJ Games and they had it, and so I picked it up and got it sent here, and it's awesome. And and what's funny about this one loaded perfectly on my Polymega, and I can play on the Polymega. The same thing with Ancient Stone.
Man,
tab, pretty cool there. So it's.
Interesting. I got mine from a little known company called Time Walk Games.
Yes.
I got it from them. So that's where I got my copy of the Zelda BS. Bullshit Zelda.
Yep. Bullshit
Classic.
Zelda. Yes.
Classic.
Yes.
So. And again, though, because of our rules, technically you just included the original Legend of Zelda in there, which is good.
Yeah, which was so basically, and I'll say this too. It's a mix together with it. I like the original OG Zelda. The thing that I thought was really cool as a kid, and I'll just do this like really brief thing on it. It was like, wow, I'm not getting my handheld. I'm just like, you do what you want to do. If you don't want to go get the sword, you don't have to go get the sword. You'll probably get wrecked by, some enemies, but like you could go get the sword, or you know what? I don't want to go to dungeon number 1. I'm gonna go try to be Ganon with just my sword right now. Like just weird stuff that you could do in the game, to beat it. And then also I like in it too is I thought I hate to say it, I was a really big goth kid early as a kid. So to have a game that showed like a graveyard, it was like the first like cool little thing. Like you went to a spooky graveyard to find like the Master Sword, and I thought that was pretty cool. So pretty interesting gameplay mechanics with it. But I'm happy it came out, because if it wasn't here, then we wouldn't have all these great games right here.
Well, and the reason why original Zelda is not in my top 5 is because back in the day I rented the game, played the hell out of it, and got all the way to Ganon through the whole game. And as soon as he revealed, the game did the reset.
Oh my god! I'd be so mad.
I hit the button and my save got erased, and I'm like, "F this!" I was so pissed off. I went on a complete freeze until Link to the Past in Super Nintendo. I didn't play any Zelda games. I didn't even play Zelda 2. I was like, no, I'm not playing it. I was pissed.
Very glad you didn't play Zelda 2. It would have probably been a little more better too. That game is tough. Super tough.
It has a cool magic system, though. Fun. But so that's why the original Zelda doesn't make my top 5. It makes my top 10, but not my top 5. Freaking jerk Ganon. And then there's an old classic Nintendo age where they were talking about the purple Ganon that you could get in the game. There's a purple Ganon, secret purple Ganon, and all this stuff. Really. So I made a perler bead version of the purple Ganon, and ironically, while I was making it, my old dog Scrappy jumped on my lap, and purple Ganon went flying. I'm like, God damn! He was so mad. Like I wasted like hours making the purple Ganon. It was just like so many classic like BS stories with Zelda. So it's good that the BS version is yours, because Zelda's BS and NES.
That's right.
Yeah, classics. No, it did create the foundation of what would make, the action RPG genre so great. So my number 5 is a game I have to go with. Ironically, doesn't hold up as well as it should now. But it's Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
The classic N64. Reiterated, though, that the 3DS version, much better graphics. I wish it came out on Switch, that version. But the game is, the classic. Have so many great experiences playing the game on the Nintendo 64 back in the day. I got it when it came out. Got the original. I have the CIB still, my original version with the gold cartridge and all that.
Yeah.
Really, really great game. Love all the different aesthetics with it. The different, getting all the different sage medallions, and the final battle with Ganon, and then you get the giant Ganon, or with Ganondorf, and then the giant Ganon later after you beat him, and different ways you can fight Ganon, and different aspects. It's just a really, really fun game. The stuff in the middle, I don't even really remember anymore, because I've went back so many times and played through the first like few sections and the first few adult dungeons, to the point where like everything in the middle is kind of fuzzy. So it might be time to do a replay, but I don't want to replay it on 64. And the 3DS version, I don't have the patience, because it was before they had the good 3D to me. So I didn't really play it, because maybe with the new 3DS with the eye tracking, it might be better. But that's why I just want them to redo that version on Switch, and I would be happy. But yeah, I love Ocarina.
I got my copy. It's pretty funny. You'll laugh at this. I bought mine from EB Games. I got it on Thanksgiving. They opened
Really?
the doors in the morning on Thanksgiving when I lived in Phoenix, and we went down and picked it up. So they gave us that. They gave us that, the collector's edition, and then they gave us. I bought the guide, so I got the guide and that. And then so for Thanksgiving, all I did was I would I would basically just sit on the floor. I would have a plate of turkey, and I would be basically sitting crisscross and just reading the guide and kind of going through it. Because some of
That's
it, like
funny.
the first one was like crazy. When we went through the Deku tree, I was like all like confused and backwards on that because you climb up and all that stuff, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck is going on. So I played it probably like a week straight. The water temple makes me super mad. It's the one dungeon that drives me insane. With the boots and everything like that. Oh my
So
god,
much
that
better
mechanic
on
killed me.
3DS. Water Temple's so much better
Yes.
on 3DS.
Yes.
Ironically, when I played that version, it was about 2012. 2000, yeah, no, it was 2011. I was in Army Recruiter School in 2011 before my daughter was born, and I was playing it then. That's when I played Ocarina of Time on the 3DS, and it was such a cool time. It's crazy that was that long ago, but
The new 3DS, I'll let you know because I played it on there. Same thing with Majora's Mask. It's 10 times better. Don't play it on the old one. The new 3DS with the eye tracking, it
Mhm.
stays with it perfect. So I would definitely play it on that. You probably might like
Awesome.
it a little better.
Now, I'm not a fan of Majora's Mask. I don't
Nope.
like the repeat mechanics. I don't like the repeat mechanics.
I hate
Um,
it.
I want to love it. I want to like it. I just don't want to have to like. I'm OCD, so I get anxiety having to like wait for each piece and having to line up times of what people do and when they do it. And to me, that whole non-linear style gameplay, it's cool for some. I just don't like it.
I'm not a fan of it either. I told Amara that he was selling his copy, and I bought his box, and I was like, the only reason why I'm buying this is because I just want to put it in a box and just put it just put it into hiding. I've tried 3 times to play that game, and I hate it any worse. I played it twice on the N64, and then I did the 3DS one. And even I was like, the
Mm.
3DS one, they're probably going to fix this problem. It's going to be great. And I hate it. I like the mask thing they do, like the mask, like where you can speed up, like we wear the bunny mask and all that stuff.
Sure.
That's cool. They could have done that. They couldn't have had to do the time thing. They could have just done that. And I think the game would have been perfect. I've been the perfect little DLC for it. But when you added that stupid, you have to go back. A few times, like I had to do the dungeons again because I didn't know how to deal with the time thing, and I would
Yeah.
always not make it in time, and I'd freak out. I'm like, this is horrible. I don't know why people love it so much, but it needs
Have
a fresh coat of paint.
I wonder if somebody like just like I was playing Breath of the Wild with the hack to get rid of the weapon breakage. I wonder if somebody created a Majora's Mask 3D hack for emulators where it gets rid of the time.
It'd be awesome.
Oh,
I'd
because
be
if I could just casually
so
play,
happy.
if I could just casually play and then like pause the time so it doesn't kill me. Oh, it'd be so good.
I would love it. Mwah. I would
Yeah,
love
it'd be
it.
so good. But yeah, now, so the other piece is that I do want to talk about like the worst Legend of Zelda game in your opinion, and I got mine. And I guess I could start since I'll let you give you a little bit of time
Yep.
so you can think about where I'm going. I absolutely hate, do not like Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. I cannot stand Triforce Heroes. That's the game that you have to play with 3 players on the
Yep.
3DS online, have to work together. There's a way to do it locally, but it's like it's worse than the damn water temple, the multiplayer. You have to keep switching between players to do all the puzzles. And it's like changing the damn boots in the water temple. It's like the water temple of Zelda games. I just remember though, I was going through and playing, and I didn't get to play it on the first weekend. So I went in the second weekend. I was playing it online, and people had already gotten everything online, and they're bored. So you go into like a lava level, they pick you up and throw you in the lava and kill you, and then you have to start over. And it's like mother
Trolling
effer, man.
people.
They're not even playing; they're just trolling people. So it's
Trolling
like,
people.
and
Yeah.
I didn't have any other friends that were playing online. So I couldn't like link up with friends. I was playing with randos and random matching, and it was just lame, and I just didn't like it. And the game itself would be cool if you could get 3 people together that are friends and playing on the same page. Just like playing Four Swords Adventures on the GameCube together. It would be cool. But you have to have that perfect ambiance. Four Swords Adventures also had a single player mode, which was fun. Whereas this, like the single player sucks because you have to keep constantly switching, and it was clunky. There wasn't like a little hot swap toggle to do it. So I hate friggin' Triforce Heroes.
I got mine, and I hate the controls of this. You're probably going to know what I'm going to say here. I do not like Skyward Sword. Absolutely hate it. I hate the Wago controls. When I first saw it at E3, I was like, wow, it's pretty cool. Like a shield and a sword, it's cool. But it's cool for like 5 minutes. When you have to do it the entire time, it is annoying. And then I got the new one for the Switch, and I'm like, they're going to fix this problem. They're just going to fix the controls. Everything's going to look nice. It's going to be just like an old school game. Cool. And nope. They have those dang WoW controls on that one too. And even with the upgrades, it just seems like the controls are just off a little bit. I want to like it. It's the same thing like Majora's Mask. Like I want to like it, but I don't like the controls. The Wii one is absolutely, to me, is unplayable. Like I can't stand it.
I wanted to love it, and I just remember going versus Girahim the first time. I couldn't figure it out, and I think he has to follow you as you're doing it, and then you can attack him or something. But I couldn't do it, and I never could beat him the first time. And I know that there was a gimmick to it, a trick to it to do it. And I think I tried it again, wanted to love it on the Switch. I think I was able to beat Girahim this time, the first time, but it's just all samey. Like it just didn't really love it. And I heard that there's so many awesome bosses and awesome temples. We missed out on a lot of cool shit. It's just the gameplay. Like they should have just given us a traditional Zelda mode version.
Well, they kind of like Twilight Princess, for example. They had one that was like on the Wii, and then you had the GameCube version. And I think if you just wanted to split it up, like if here you should have a controller, you could have the controller, or because they had like on the Wii they had like the classic controller, so they could have used the classic controller for it, or they could have just went, hey, you want to play the WoW controls, have fun, that's cool. But they never gave you that option. You're just like, oh, you're just stuck with these controls, and that's what you're gonna have to live with. And I know they were trying to, like with the Wii, they were trying to make everything interactive, but like I just don't want to sit there all day trying to block and hit with the Wii controller. It just like then they did the Wii Motion Plus, thinking that was going to help with it, and it didn't help with it either. It just made it worse.
Well, I feel like with Nintendo, whenever they go to a major franchise and then they force in the gimmick, it doesn't work out as well. Because like the other example was Star Fox Zero on the Wii U. And that game would have been great if it was a traditional game with just a pro controller. But they had to add in those damn gimmicks, like of doing that, and it's just not cool. They remade that on the Switch. It would be amazing because it would be a traditional Star Fox.
Star Fox would have been better if it was just like basically you could look at like where the jets were on the controls. You know what I mean? Or like how many bombs you had, like that, and then just have the playing on the thing. Yeah, I was really disappointed in that game too. It's weird. They do I think sometimes Nintendo just tries to stick things to the wall. Like they're like, let's try this, and then try to see if it's great. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it's just really really bad landings.
Well, and if the motion controls were better, because the 1-to-1 with the sword is where it kills you. And what I didn't like with that is that a lot of the enemies had that freaking gimmick to them where it's like you're going versus the guy and you're like that's how the enemies are doing the whole time. And I'm like, I just want to attack and kill them. Like I don't want everyone to be an interactive mini game that I have to get through. Like it's like some of the games where you have a role-playing game where they have like timed interactive mini games with it, but then eventually you just automatically kill the guys because you're overpowered. So that way you don't have to redo the mini games over and over and over again. And that's my other gripe with Skyward Sword. It's not my one gripe because there's multiple gripes. That's my other gripe with Skyward Sword is that every time you're going versus enemy, there's no way you're overpowered. You can come through and just like maul through them. You have to interact with them, and then all of a sudden it's like you got to swipe, and I always mess it up every time. It's almost like you got to take your time with the game, and nobody wants that. Nobody got time for that.
Ain't no one got time for that.
Freaking classics, though. But yeah, like that's perfect. Yeah, Skyward Sword, I would say, is definitely one. There's some other games we didn't really talk about, but I mean, they're still good. They might make our top 10. Stuff
Yep.
like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Zelda 2. But there's a ton of amazing Zelda titles that have been released over the years, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is going to have its quirks because they're trying to do this Banjo Kazooie nuts and bolts style building mechanics with it. I hope we get some damn dungeons. I don't need a million. I just need a couple traditional dungeons. That would be awesome. The other thing that I did with my Breath of the Wild playthrough was another little fun gimmick. I did the Eventide Island. I don't know if you did that in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go all the way to the bottom right, and they take away all your gear, and you got to figure it out again. And that was cool as hell. That was like a mini dungeon almost, because to me, I feel like Nintendo made the overworld the dungeons, and that was kind of the opposite of what you would have with Zelda. Whereas then you go in all the shrines and it's just puzzles, the simple puzzles, and we've had crazy dungeons. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just, give us Zelda World and just make a giant interactive game using all the worlds and all the games and all the puzzles and all the games and give us a giant perfect Zelda. I don't know.
Well, I think they should do, and think of the like Willow on NES. Like they would have those caves that would be like full on dungeons. So instead of like having a whole background of it, you can just go to different caves that are like different dungeons, and you can like make really cool dungeons out of them. I don't mind Breath of the Wild, but the thing was like all those little puzzle ones. Like I was like I got obsessed with looking at it for a while, but after a while I was like I'm done with these things. I just want to play like an old school dungeon, and with the four characters, they made those big awesome dungeons for them. But I wish they would have had more of those in that. I felt also too like it was a lot of blank. You know what I mean? There's a lot of grass areas and things like that. They had a lot of cool little spots, but I felt like there was just a lot of blank spots where they could put a lot of things in the game that you could like I love the little goblins had the little spots, and like you go there and you can blow it up and do all kinds of funny stuff and stuff like that. I love that, but there's many of them like that were far between from each other, so it kind of, I don't know. I just think like I'm hoping they put more. I with this little sky thing, I hope they add a bunch of more things in there that you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think they use that for the open world concept to give the depth of greatness and make it feel gigantic, like a huge world. But yeah, it definitely was like one of those where you're playing an old school open world game on a PS2 or PS3 where it's just not populated enough, versus like a Grand Theft Auto 5, which is like an interactive town, a world.
Yeah,
There's everything there. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I hope they do a little bit more of that with Tears. The other thing is when I'm playing it on the CEMU or whatever, the gyro doesn't work on the deck. The deck does have gyro, but it doesn't work on that emulator, so I can't do some of the gyro puzzles. So some of those, like I could get them to done. So I won't be able to get every single shrine. I won't be able to beat all the shrines. So I'll never be able to 100% it on the emulator. So that kind of sucks, but I'll be okay. I'm just gonna have fun with it and do that. And then when I play Tears, it's gonna just be interesting. I do feel like there's gonna be some swerves in there too.
Yep.
I don't know what yet, but there's gonna be some swerves in there. There's some stuff that Nintendo has not told us. That's for sure.
Yep.
Did you ever play the other Zelda game, the one that's like Dynasty Warriors?
Oh yeah, the Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah. No, the Hyrule Warriors. Did you play the second one, the Age of Calamity?
No, I haven't played Age of Calamity. I wasn't able to. So it was weird. They didn't have like a lot of copies out here. My friend said he said he went to Best Buy and they had two. Like I don't think Nintendo thought it was going to be like a big seller. I mean, I heard it. I heard it's like a cool little prequel, I guess, to Breath of the Wild. So I was interested in it. I just haven't seen a copy. forever. So like,
Well,
I
like,
might pick it.
so
I
like,
had the first one.
so the first one is really cool. It's huge. It's forever. You can play forever, like fighting. It's very, same because it's Dynasty Warriors. You're button mashing, doing tons of combos and beating thousands of enemies. I do like the Zelda 1 map mode and all that. That's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Going through all that. Now, the Age of Calamity, it's awesome. It really is like more Zelda. It goes more deep into the lore of the world. I'm not sure if they're going to make that canon or not for part 2. They should. But it was really fun. But again, like I played for a bunch of hours, but like I didn't go through and beat it just because of timing. It took forever. Like, so I just didn't go through and beat it. But it was fun. I mean, I got a copy when it first came out again. I try to get as many as possible. I do consider those as part of Zelda. But they're fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
I'm going to pick it up for sure someday down the road. I just haven't been able to ever see a copy of it anywhere. And hopefully, like at Ben's, I can probably pick one up. But like, I love the first one, and I also bought the one for the 3DS as well. So like, I played both of them on there.
Yeah, I had it on the Wii U, and then I never got the 3DS version, and then I got it for Switch, the definitive.
Yep.
The extra characters and all that. I think it's very interesting. I just like the different options. And then there's the other Zelda game that's it's the one that came out a couple years ago where it's in the music style, where it's the beat rhythm game version.
I know what you're talking about. Cadence of Hyrule or something like that.
Yes, Cadence of Hyrule. And I thought that game was cool. I do like that you can turn off the cadence mode. You can turn off the music mode and just play through the game. That makes it really fun. I went through and played it on the easiest mode, the most basic bitch mode that you could do, just to play it and enjoy it. And it was fun. I had a good time. But yeah, that was really cool. Hopefully they do more stuff like, allowing, premium edition to do Zelda Maker for Super Dungeon Maker. That would be pretty freaking awesome. But But I mean, you can never have enough Zelda out there. And I mean, if we could have anything though, let's get a high definition Link to the Past remake. They could do it just like Link's Awakening. I'd be cool with that. Like, super cool with that. But let's get us, or maybe let's get us a double pack of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And let's get our favorite 3DS one, Link Between Worlds, combined.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
Let's get them both. But yeah, I'd say this is a good point to put a bow on things. We may be recording with Ibarra. We may wait another week to record with Ibarra. It just depends if he can get his internet to work. And we'll see how the audio turns out on this, because it sounded good when I recorded on my side, but on my side I couldn't see your video. And so my audio coming through on yours. Hopefully it sounds good.
It sounds great on my side, so I think it's good. It's gonna be good. I'm gonna put the good juju in the air.
Put the good vibes. We probably won't be putting this version on YouTube just because without the interactive part. I mean, we'll just make it audio only. It'll be up on. Yeah, we'll be on the Spotify. And if we grow our Spotify enough, we can eventually start reading ad reads and stuff, and we'll do some funny ass ad reads adding on to it and stuff. I think we have to reach like a certain amount of new viewers or something, or new listeners and things. And the old VGBS, if I could find all those old people, we had thousands of people that were listening. So if we got to that, we'd be good again. But we took a hiatus for 3 years, so 4 years. So we'll find them though. People realize that we're out here, and then we're going to start doing some interviews. I know. Do you know of DJ Slope?
Do not.
Slope's Gamer on YouTube.
Okay. I know Slopes. Yeah. Okay.
He does kick scammers and things. Well, I mean, I've known him forever. He's highlighted and talked about some of my Kickstarters, some of his favorites back in the day. But he's going to come out as an interview piece eventually, so that'll be pretty freaking fun. And then I got a lot of other people that I've known for the years. I'd like to get them on to do interviews. And it'll be about them. It'll be them talking about what they do and all their stuff, and less of a normal episode, but it'll be another fun avenue to help us grow and grow that YouTube channel too. because you gotta get that
Yes.
YouTube a little bit bigger, and it just allows us to, have more fun and get out there. I don't think we're planning on doing a video game bullshit Patreon or anything, not yet. We'd have to do something fucking cool to do it. So,
Yeah.
and the other thing is we gotta make sure that we get a good flow, get a good recording down. If we're gonna do stuff and ask people to do any kind of donations, we want to have high quality
Yep. Absolutely.
content. Our content will be good, high quality video and stuff. So, yeah. But anyways, where can people find you?
I am at GI Gamer 1981 on Facebook. I usually do a Sunday conversation like I did today. Please check it out. I also do reels. I also basically kind of give knowledge on video game collecting and through the generation. So if you want to like, subscribe, or share any of my videos, feel free. GI Gamer 1981 is on Facebook.
Nice. And I'm available on Facebook and the Twitter and on all the different social media platforms. I'm at Hagens Alley on Twitter. And then on Facebook, you just have to look up my name, Jeffrey Wittenhagen. You'll find me, or Jeff Wittenhagen. I'm up on there. And usually I'm posting crazy stuff. I'm doing my miles. So I'm trying to make sure I can get about more than 50 miles at the end of this week, which I'm at like 39 or something already. So from last week. So I'm a little extra just to make sure, because I know that I'm going out to North Carolina and Atlanta. So I'm going to have a lot of time where, the goal is to get one foot in front of the other for this run and this walk. But I want to make sure that I get my miles in there. So when I am at home, I want to definitely get some. So I'll be doing like in the morning when I wake up, I'll be doing a nice long run and then kind of enjoying myself, getting myself out there and enjoying time. The other thing is, and I'll show it when we have a borrow with, is I got my copy of Switch Collector Volume 2, Part 2.
Nice.
As well as the mini manual, which I did some upgrades that I didn't tell backers about. Like, I actually did instead of just doing a manual, I actually had it not staple bound, but I had it glue bound. So it's actually a real spine. And I did foil on the
Awesome.
and everything. So it looks like it's a badass one. It's all year 2. It's not like part 1 and part 2. It's all of year 2. So I have a year 1 manual and a year 2 manual. And this is a booklet, essentially. It's a little mini book. So it's cool as hell. And then, the complete NES has finished on Kickstarter. And essentially, I reached out to all the contributors. Anybody who wants to do a story. I am including stories from the Nintendo Compendium, so the Eric Coffin story that's in there.
Yes.
It can go back in there if you wanted to, which I am cool
Absolutely.
with. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This book, though, so my original complete NES was like 280 pages or something. It was decent. It's over 500 pages already. Like, this is
you bars are trying to see who gets the biggest book ever.
Well, right now,
awesome books.
I mean, right now the definitive Super Nintendo is 630, and I regret it because it was too big. I want to keep it around 500. The thing is, with the stories, it's adding a lot of pages. So, but that's the meat and potatoes of the book too, because it's a collector's book, just like Switch Collector Volume 2 Part 2. It's a collector's book. So there's not a ton of writing except for the personal stories. So the personal NES stories is what makes it cool. So I want to make sure that, I add all the cool stories and other people's stories. And so there's sections for personal stories, favorite game reviews, and favorite game stories, hacks, homebrews, translations, all that stuff. There's different sections in there in the book for that. Outside of the actual collector's section for all this. I want to put all the stories just in one section. I don't want to put it put the game reviews with the NES games and stuff, because I feel like it'd be impossible. It would kill the flow. But I feel like it's going to be a little cool tribute. And I mean, I'm upping the ante for this to the next level, because if you have my original complete NES, this is night and day. It's ridiculous. Awesome. Yeah, if I'm going to redo something, I'm going to redo it right. And then the other question that I have to, because you got a few of my books, but I'm going to bring it out to the community. I could re-release my hidden gaming gems because people have been wanting it. However, why don't I just do a new hidden gaming gems with new games?
Yeah, an upgrade to it. You know what I mean?
Well, instead of an upgrade, a
Absolutely.
second
I
book.
mean,
Do a
it was
second
it was
book.
fun last time. It was fun that when I wrote in it last time, I was like, oh great, I get to show my love and affection for Predator 2. So I think that's pretty cool, and it is hard because there's so many games now, that are out there. It's hard to find like those diamonds in the rough, especially like you got Switch has so many releases all the time now. PS4, PS5, and things like that. There might be games that you completely miss and don't even know about.
Well, and to me, it's like, do we update? Do I do the Phoenix version where Leonard Herman, he would do Phoenix 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all the same book, just gets
Yeah.
bigger and bigger. And his book is
Yeah.
the biggest book. It's like 800 pages or something now. But the thing is, do I do that or do I just do more hidden gaming gems and do a second full book of hidden gaming gems and then I just re-release the first one intact, complete?
You could. I mean, I think it's be good too because you have volume 1, then you can have like volume 2, and kind of keep going on the volumes with new amounts of games that come out.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking is like, because it covers all generations. I feel like it would be more fun to do it that way if I do another one. Because I got that I need to do, and I have the Video Game Culture Chronicles where I need to continue to the next year, and I haven't done that in years. So
Yeah.
I got that, and then I got to reformat my Genesis book. That'll be the next collector's book I got to do because it's done. I just got to do it to the new format where not doing the reviews with the games, but stories separately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the interesting piece of it is changing the format is when streamline things, but then I complicate things for myself. I have to redo an entire 500-page Genesis book now. It's great. Thanks, Brain.
You can do it.
Thanks, Brain.
You're
But that is, basically you can find us there. Follow our Discord. We definitely want to post more about the Discord, and we have a Facebook page for Video Game Bullshit. So we probably could post the bullshit homework updates in the Facebook page and grow that a little bit too. That's that in
absolutely.
Discord. Yeah, because I'm pretty bad about posting. Like I've always been bad about posting updates and stuff, but it's cool. And I do know a couple people joined the Discord recently, which is awesome. We appreciate it. And we will see you the next time we record. Take it easy.